So you've got about 3 minutes to warm up, remaining swimmers. Ask you to clear away promptly at 9:30. Already had the first 2 or 3 officials down on the pool side, checking everything out. So as soon as they arrive, you really have got to get out of the way. Looking to start racing, I believe, at 9:35. So 9:30 is your departure time. 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes. One minute and a half, maybe. So let's get those 400-meter swimmers ready to roll. I think we're starting to race at 9:35. Heat sheets are out, so you can check out on the QR codes liberally sprinkled across the spectator area. Looks like we've got 10 heats. Listen for the lady and the whistle. That's it, folks. Clear the water now, please. Thank you, swimmers. Clear the water. Last couple of dives, especially that dodgy looking woman in lane 2 with the blue hat. Thank you, swimmers. That's probably about it. Just waiting for the last, for the officials to come down on poolside. First few arriving. So there is a paper version of the heat sheets on the table on the pool side, just as you exit the shower area, the changing room village. So you find there, you'll find a load of bodies pouring over it as we speak. Looked like there were 10 heats of the 400 freestyle. So heat 1 swimmers, don't go too far away. And let me just bore you with some of the safety announcements, please. You're reminded the depth of water along the pool varies from 1.9 meters to 1.8. And the starting blocks 70 centimeters above the water level. And coaches and team managers reminded, although it is a nice deep pool, just remain sure that you are capable of doing a sensible racing dive. Any questions about your safety, please speak to the referee and drop in the water for a safe start. If you are racing, then please, a shallow racing dive. If there's a false start, don't head downwards, don't topple head downwards. And if you are starting in the water, please lower yourself carefully over the side. Don't jump or dive. Hopefully this won't be necessary, but signals you'll hear if it becomes necessary to evacuate the building will be public address announcements and alarms, and any additional information from the pool staff. Check out your closest exit. There's several on the pool side, one in each corner, I believe. Spectator gallery, got a couple of exits up here, so check out your closest exit. I think there are 4 sets of doors here, so look over your shoulder, check out where your closest exit is, and then please go straight to that area. Keep the exits completely clear of any bags, baggage and bodies, and we should be all fine and dandy. Still waiting for a few officials to arrive on pool side. Heat 1 swimmers should be there. Looks like we've got 10 heats of 8 swims, so there's no empty lanes anywhere at the moment. So they're all checked in like good swimmers. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your officials out onto the pool side. No music, I'm afraid, but you can give them a jolly round of applause. Here they all come. These are the people you've got to be extra specially nice to. Here we go, here we go. It's a long old pool, so you have to keep on pace work on your clapping. So here they all come, taking up their positions. Sorry, we run out of steam with the applause. However, as you can see, all the timekeepers, judges, referees, all in there. So let's make some formal introductions now. Please welcome your lead referee, Mr. John Tripp. Yeah, got to be especially nice to him. And next to him is another referee, Chris Hobbs. Your third referee, Peter Roycroft. Your starter for this morning's session, Alan Lewis. And everybody else, you know, they haven't given me your names, but seeing we need to start swimming in a few moments. Thank you, everybody. Take your positions. So 10 heats of this 400 freestyle. Mixed event. Six events this morning. It's a 400 free, 100 breaststroke for men, 100 breaststroke for women, a mixed 200 backstroke, and then 50 meters fly for both. Scoreboard should be displaying the swimmers in each particular heat. Here we come for event one, the mixed 400 freestyle, heat one. 8 swimmers, referee.
And away we go then. 10 heats in our opening event. Taking part in heat number 1 from lane number 1 on the far side. Elaine Blower, Barnet Copthorne, Dennis Vick, Erython District, Trixie Nesbitt for Lewis, Shelley Robinson, Sevenoaks. Donna Lee, Aylesbury. In 6, Alison Gwynn for Mid Sussex. In 7, Tiggy Wood for Lewis. And in 8, Nicholas Crew, Medway Maritime. Now, we do not have entry times, so we'll try and anticipate the finishing times as we go through these heats. They will get quicker as we go on. Now, this is a mixed event, so everybody involved, male, female, all age groups. But we'll probably get down to 4-5 minute range by the time we get to heat number 10. Heat number 1 could be anywhere from 7-8 minutes potentially. But 2 quick starters, Tiggy Wood and Nick Crew in 7 and 8 will lead through 100 metres. And just looking down at the entry sheets here, the heat sheets, it's always great to see so many clubs represented. Thank you all so much for being here. Always have a great time at K2 at these Masters events. This, of course, being a 2-day event this week, and the last one just a single day, and it was a long day, but a fairly early finish time in terms of galas today and tomorrow. Almost 20 years in age separating the youngest and the oldest in the pool. I wouldn't dare give ages away, but just to give you an idea. So Tiggy Wood in Southern will lead towards halfway. He's got a teammate, Trixie Nesbitt, over in lane number 3, turning in 5th position. So let's have a look at the split times here. Donna Lee in lane 5 for Aylesbury is actually going to move into 2nd position, because Nicholas Crew just slowing down. So Tiggy Wood, 3:14.71 split. So as assumed, we're going to be around about 7-8 minutes or so if we project that forward. So 6 events in our opening session, just 4 sessions this weekend, 2 mornings, 2 afternoons. We kick off later on today from around about 2:10 onwards, all being well. And it's quite rare that you'll see a heat number 1, a full pool. Generally, there's a couple of lanes, but we do have the perfect 80 entrance. Yeah, 10 heats, 8 lane pool, 80 entrants in total. Nice round figure. Turning into 1, Elaine Blower for Barnet Copthorne. But already on their way back on leg 3. Tiggy Wood still leads, still are exactly the same top 3 order. Tiggy Wood, Donna Lee and Nicholas Crew. They won't be caught, those top 3. But remember, this is all against the clock. You could potentially have 8 swimmers in 8 different age and gender categories here. But always nice to get a heat win, though, isn't it? A little bit of glory. And final leg. Final 100 metres for Tiggy Wood, 4:59 she turns in. And I've just got a feeling that Donna Lee for Aylesbury in 5 might have left something in the tank. Let's wait and see. Nick Crew turns 3rd. Then Alison Gwynn representing Mid-Sussex Marlins. So we've got Southern Oaks, Lewis, Erith and District, Barnet Copthorne. They've come from all corners. Trixie Nisbet, the teammate of our leader, goes into her final 100 metres, as does Shelley Robinson, and shortly so will Dennis Vick, and Elaine Blower will round out the field. But coming home, Tiggy Wood is going to hang on. She trailed Nicholas Crew in the opening 100 metres, moved into the lead, and never relinquished. So she's going to be around about 6:35, maybe 6:40. Last 5 metres for our leader. She'll be followed in by Donna Lee and Nicholas Crew. And our first completed swim of the weekend is Tiggy Wood, 6:40.23. Donna Lee, 6:44. And Nicholas Crew will be our first chap home, 6:54 for him. There's your top 3. So 5 still to come. Next home will be Alison Gwynn, the Marlin swimmer. Southern 16 on the button for her. Teammate of Tiggy Wood, Trixie Nisbet, next home in 3. Everyone on their final 50 metres now. Didn't get a time. There it is, just pops up on the board. 7:46, Trixie Nisbet. Shelley Robinson will go. Can she go sub 8? She's going to be so... Yes, she does. 7:59.67. Just. And just missing out Dennis Vick. 8:10 for the Erith and District swimmer. And finally, but not least, in 1, Elaine Blower, representing Barnet Copthorne, just outside 8:30, and she will conclude heat number 1 now. With a lovely cheer too. I like that. This is heat number 2.
Take your marks.
So, just in case you weren't wide awake, now you are. Good morning. This is heat number 2 from lane number 1 on the far side, taking part, representing Spencer, Hannah Uckerman. In 2, Barnet Copthorne's Keith Parkin. In 3, Bexley's Julian Meldrum. In 4, King's Cormorant, Amanda Doyle. In 5 for Hadley, Stuart McLennan. In 6 for Croydon Amphibians, Marianne Rook-Alden. In lane number 7, representing Wickham District, Philippa Williams. And in 8 for Basildon and Phoenix, it is Amanda Goodman. And the heats, in theory, should get marginally quicker as we go through our seeded listing. And this time, 8 swimmers, 8 different clubs represented too. And already approaching the halfway mark, and a stark contrast to heat number 1. Other than in 6, Marianne Rook-Alden, not a lot to separate the entire field this time. Uckerman in 1. Meldrum in 3. And it's on the opposite outside lane. Goodman in 8. All posing a threat to your leader. What's the split at halfway? Just over 3 minutes. 3:02 and a half. And just 4 seconds back, 5 seconds. You got Goodman, Uckerman, Meldrum, then McLennan, Doyle. So if you are just joining us to look through the schedule today, we've got our 10 heats in the mixed 400 free. We'll then move on to the open male 100 breaststroke. The female 100 breaststroke. We'll have the mixed 200 back. The open male 50-meter butterfly. And we finish the session. Should be a couple of hours or so. That's just a guess, by the way. The female 50-meter butterfly is our 6th and final event. And then looking through the schedule even further, warm-up starts at 1 p.m. or so. Obviously, this all depends how we go this morning. Bit of flexibility in there, of course. 3/4 mark, still same leader. Marianne Rook-Alden, the Croydon Amphibian. Hannah Uckerman in 1, and Amanda Goodburn in 8. They have separated away from the rest of the pack now. Julian Meldrum leading the rest of the field in 3. Now, of course, a wonderful venue, multi-sport venue here at K2. And depending on what time you arrived this morning, you may have had to navigate through about 7,000 cheerleaders, it seemed. Busy old car park, clearly a big event on today in the world of cheerleading. And here we come then, into our closing stages. We thought it might be around 6 minutes, and Uckerman is not out of this one yet for the heat win. Of course, so many ages and categories involved. We'll just be calling it on heats. And in terms of heat number 2, it will be a very close finish. Look at this. Rook-Alden and Uckerman going right to the wire. Blimey. 6:13.56. Pretty much exactly half a second clear of Uckerman. And then in 8 It was always that trio, Amanda Goodman, a 6:20. Lovely race down the centre in lanes 3, 4 and 5. Meldrum will take it ahead of McClellan and Doyle. Williams in Southern. And then lane number 2, Keith Parkin for Barnet Copthorne will close heat number 2 for us. He's going to just miss out on sub-7 minutes, but it was close. 7:03. Keith Parkin rounds up heat number 2 for us.
This will be heat number 3. 8 swimmers, referee.
Hey.
In heat number 3, you will be watching South Downs Trojan, Helen Andrews in 1. Dover Lifeguards, Eleanor Matthews in 2. Wickham District's Kate King in 3. Got another Trojan, Anne-Marie Reid in 4. Hastings, Laura Key in 5. Spencer's Suzanne Maidment in 6. Atlantis, Becky Owen in 7. And representing Farnham, Judith Wiles is in 8. And as per heat number 2, close contest through 100 metres. Just about leading, Suzanne Maidment. And we'll get once again around about sub 6 minutes or so. Anticipated finishing time in heat number 3. Maidment turns in the lead before Reid and Owen. As you were through 200 metres. So already looking a little bit like a 2-woman race at the front. Of course, not at all discounting Becky Owen and Laura Key. Just going off plenty of past races. And behind our front 4, in lane number 8, Judith Wiles. And in 2, Eleanor Matthews. And the advantage between the front 2 and the chasers around about 8 seconds No, that's come down a bit, hasn't it? Nowhere near 8 seconds. Where are we? In fact, it's maybe there will be a change at 300 meters. Not with our leader. That's always going to be Suzanne Maidment right now. However, Anne-Marie Reid just being pegged back, especially by Laura Key and in Southern Becky Owen. And they go out and back one more time. So a lead of 3 seconds, then just 2 and 3 seconds between third and fourth. Again, just heat times we're talking about here. I can tell you there are most definitely differences in the age categories. But this race is all about the girls. My, look at the comeback here from Laura Key. And in fact, she'll take the lead by around half a second. Well, she was trailing by 6 or 7 seconds early on. But as this heat has progressed, she's moved through the gears. And now she's going to push all the way towards the line. This has been a fantastic race by the Hastings swimmer. Fantastically well timed. And she's going to go under 6 minutes. Just, I won't say it just yet, but she will. 5:58 for Laura Key. Wonderful swim. Our early leader will just hold on to second, Suzanne Maidment, 6:04.67. 13 hundredths ahead of Becky Owen. And then Anne-Marie Reid. What a brilliant heat. And let's not forget those in lanes 1, 2 and 3 all come home in a flurry. Matthews before King and Andrews. Julius Wiles and 8 was down there in 5th position.
Swimmers, can you clear the pool at the sides, please? Thank you.
So swim hats retrieved. Heat 4, 8 swimmers. Referee.
Take your marks.
Heat number 4 for the next 5 or 6 minutes. You will be watching from lane 1, Haventon Waterlooville's Christopher Lyons. South Down Trojans, Michelle Beckwith in 2. In 3, Crawley's David Cargill. In 4, Dover Lifeguards, Tracy Anstis. In 5, Deeping's Chris Orchard. In 6, Erith and District's Jenny Vick. In 7, Woking's Linda Coggins. And in 8, the Otter, Chris Daniels. Now, it's not very often I come across a club that I've not heard of before, but Deepings is new to me. And just having a quick Google, like we do, Deepings, this is from their own website. Deepings Swimming Club is a small, friendly club in South Lincolnshire. Oh, and they have an outdoor pool as well. Wow. Fantastic. Chris Orchard representing Deepings. Outdoor swimming this time of year. I will leave that to them. David Cargill, the Crawley swimmer. Oh, he'll have done some lengths in this pool. And he's got a solid lead in this one. 4 seconds over Chris Daniels on the near side in 8. Pretty much alongside Tracy Anstis in 4. And then pretty much nothing to separate the next 5. Now, I mentioned as we go through these heats, they will naturally get quicker on the seeding. And they should also get closer as well. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. I was at the commentating at the British Swimming English Swimming Championships up in Sheffield a few weeks ago, just before Christmas. And a 1,500 metre race was won, the final, by 0.03 of a second. That's rare. So Dave Cargill will maintain the advantage into the final throws. But Tracy Anstis in a solid second now over Chris Daniels will not make it a particularly comfortable final 100. And this is going to be a race to the line between Dave Cargill and Tracy Anstis. Just 2 seconds separating them. That's been closed. It was more like 3-4 seconds. But he's had a very, very good turn. Look at that. Pulled out another half second just on the tumble. Chris Daniels was in a fairly tidy third place, but in 2, that is Michelle Beckwith, the South Downs Trojan, going through very nicely. Also Jenny Vick in 6. So third place to be decided. But Dave Cargill, the home swimmer, will take heat number 4 in a time of 5:53.96, quickest we've seen so far. Tracy Anstis 5:56, and third place Chris Daniels holds on 6:02.09. Chased hard by Beckwith and Vic, and everybody home in under 6:15.
Heat number 5 should have 8 swimmers. Referee.
Take your marks.
Heat number 5 all underway from lane number 1. We have Catherine Stevens, Saxon Crown, Michelle Laverick of Hart, Martin Uribery representing Elmbridge, Karen Bassett for Spencer, Paul Doherty for Havant and Waterlooville, Laura Kerrigan also representing Spencer, Katie Wrightborough of Newham, and Nick Roosh representing Farnham. And Nick Roosh is not going to hang around in heat number 5. Gone out like a rocket on the outside. I don't think you'll mind me saying, 50 this year. And he's going to lead by a good old 5 seconds of a Paul Doherty in lane number 5. And then on the outside in 2 and 1, Laverick and Stevens. But Roosh looking fantastic on the outside. Halfway splits, 2:40. So we'll slowly edge closer as we go through. This is heat 5 of 10, remember, halfway now through our opening event. And in fact, in our next heat, heat number 6, we'll talk more about it at the time, but European record holder and although we've got a good 125 metres to swim, it doesn't look like anybody at any point is going to be catching your leader, the Farnham swimmer. Just coming through in lane number 2. So Michelle Laverick representing Hart. She's moved into the 2nd position ahead of Paul Doherty. And in fact, in Southern, Katie Wright is going to have a strong finish here too. She's on to her final 100. Pretty much tied for third place. Now, is Nick Roosh just slowing down ever so slightly here? Or is he very comfortable with his position? He'll be able to breathing to the left right now, so we won't quite see Michelle Laverick in lane number 2. Oh, he's had a couple of turns to the right now. There he goes. He will see just in his far distance. He doesn't want to be caught off guard here. And Katie Wright now in a strong third place after a good third 100 metres. And they will come home in the order that Nick started. Went out hard, Nick Roosh. And he's going to close it out with a sub 5:40. I tell you what though, Michelle Laverick got close. 5:39.41 for Roosh. Laverick just outside with a 41.85. Oh my goodness, race at the death there. Katie Wright took third and Doherty just took fourth away from Kerrigan. And in one, Catherine Stevens, Martin Reebury and Karen Bassett just outside 6 minutes. And that is halfway. 5 heats down, 5 to go.
Here is heat number 6. 8 swimmers, referee.
On to heat number 6. From lane 1, Portsmouth North Seas, Jodie Cox. Farnham's Ben Bolton Stanley. Dis Otters, Adam Lillian. South Downs Trojan, Steph Barron in 4. Spencer's Chris Dunn in 5. We'll come back to Chris in a moment. In 6, Teddington's Lucy Young. In Southern, Medway Maritime's Daniel Ryan. And in 8, teammate for Medway Maritime, Stuart Grant. Now, lane number 5, Chris Dunn, European record holder in the 75 to 79, 5:28.45. If he can go sub that time, he'll improve on a European record. And we do often get some brilliant British European records here in these Masters events. It is not uncommon. They're always special. And it's a special start from our outside lane swimmers in heat number 6. Jodie Cox and Stuart Grant leading the way. I tell you what, I did notice Stuart Grant's dive. He seemed to be 2 meters ahead of the field through 15 meters. And a pack of 4 down the middle, just pacing each other still through the early stages. That's Lillian, Barron, Dunn and Young. Hunting down your leaders at halfway. And this is going to be a pretty good split as well through 200. 2:38 for Stuart Grant, 2:41 Jodie Cox. So we're on for a good sort of 5:30-ish. Again, 5:28.45 the time for Chris Dunn to beat his own European record. He's in the centre of that pack of four. As you were, no change, 150 to swim. Stuart Grant just regaining, it seems, that slender advantage that he had at halfway. Jody Cox not going anywhere right now. And our central four, as we approach the last 100 metres, just start to break up. Lucy Young and Adam Lillian just get a body length advantage on Steph Brown and Chris Dunn. That 5:28 looking hard to beat right now. But we will keep our fingers crossed. I'm sure we'll see plenty more of Chris Dunn later in this weekend. Let's go back to the front. Final 50 then. Grant ahead of Cox. And I tell you what, that battle for third is hotting up too. They could even grab a second place if they get a move on. In 3 and 6 is Lillian and Young. Can Jody Cox hold on to second in the heats? As always, everyone racing the clock. The finishing positions in heats, really quite irrelevant, but we follow the races as we see them. And leading from the gun, right through the ticker tape, is going to be Stuart Grant. And it will be a 5:27.6. 5:30 for Cox. Young ahead of Lillian and Chris Dunn. Half a dozen or so seconds outside of his own European record. We'll see him again a bit later. 5:35 is finish time. Danielle Ryan, a 5:44. And in lane number 2, Ben Bolton-Stanley, representing Farnham, will be our last man home. This will conclude heat number 6. So 4 more to come after Ben touches home. And then at the conclusion of our opening event, it's the 100 breaststroke for the open male and the females. But plenty to come before then. Bolton-Stanley will finish in a time of 6:35 with plenty of support at poolside too. Great to see.
Here is heat number 7, 8 swimmers, referee.
Heat number 7. From lane number 1, Gemma Spencer representing Woking. Alice Reeves-Turner, teammate from Woking. In 3, Nuala Muir-Cochrane representing Poole. In 4, Paul Smoothie representing Guildford City. In 5, Clive Benson for Hart. Hooray! In 6, David Wood for Wickham Districts. In 7, Miles Hanlon out to swim. And in 8, Bethany Collins representing Hailsham. That got very loud for a second there, didn't it? And there are 40 years, 4-0, representing youngest and most senior in heat number 7. And this is one of those races where we could potentially, just trying to do some calculations here, 8 swimmers in 8 different categories. No, we don't. Nearly. So how much quicker are we going to go in heat 7 then? Some 2:30s to halfway, which means we're edging ever closer to 5 minutes. Might not get there in this one. So some, well, 3 sets of pairs battles here. 7 and 8, Hanlon and Collins. And in the middle, in the yellow lane ropes, Smoothie and Benson. Then in 2 and 3, Reeves-Turner and Muir-Cochrane. David Wood having a swim on his own, as is hang on a second. So the beady-eyed amongst you will have noticed that on the heat sheet we had Gemma Spencer in lane number 1, but that is not Gemma Spencer. That is a Borough of Kirkley swimmer, Macaulay Cormorant. So my educated guess is that it's potentially late entrance. We'll find out for you. Not too important. Bethany Collins leads over Paul Smoothie now. So changes in the order. And let's just enjoy this finish here. And this is going to be our fastest heat so far. And it's going to be won by Bethany Collins in the yellow cap. And that is a great time, 5:19.17 for your winner. A few seconds back, Paul Smoothie in the middle. Clive Beeson, in fact, was at 0.8. Oh. Miles Hanlon in 4th, 5:24. These are all really close times, aren't they? Wow. So that is 5 seconds separating your top 4. Then Muir-Cochrane in 3. David Wood, 5:34, and 1 second back as Alice Reeves-Turner. So not only the quickest heat thus far, but also in terms of the front 7, the closest to, just 14, 15 seconds-ish separating our first Southern finishers. And we'll await in lane number 1. I don't have a first name. Connor. Thank you, Ian. It's Connor in lane number 1. And representing Kingston Royal. And Connor is going to close out heat number 7 in a 7:23.7.
Heat number 8 coming up. 8 swimmers. Referee.
Heat number 8. Just getting a history lesson on the starting blocks here. From lane number 1, Otters, Alice Dinsdale Young. In 2, Dover Lifeguards, Derek Hutton. In 3, Brighton's Adam Harper. In 4, for Teddington, Christopher Freeman. In 5, Wickham District's Charles Wilson. In 6, Spencer's Simon Berry. In 7, Borough of Newham's Ralph Pinnell. And in 8, Dover Lifeguards Lucy Besant. So we've had sub 5:20s now. And it looks like Derek Hutton is keen. Well, at this rate, he's going to go 220-ish, 225. Yeah, we're going to get... Well, let's wait and see. He's gone out very, very fast either way. Behind him, well, what's that? 1.5 body lengths separating the entire field outside of your leader. And he's going to go 230 to halfway. So, a negative split, and we've got our first sub 5. It's a tall order. Alice Dinsdale Young leading the chasing pack, ahead of Adam Harper and Ralph Pinnell. So 1:50 to swim and a 3:10 for Derek Hutton. His lead, distance-wise, hasn't changed whatsoever. Can those elsewhere pick up the pace? I'm looking towards Ralph Pennell and Lucy Besson here. Alice Dinsdale-Young is going to currently maintain third place. So Hutton needs a 1:08 final 100. That's a tall ask when you've done 3 already. But we're definitely going to get our fastest heat time though far. 5:18 the time to beat. Here comes Adam Harper in lane number 3 as well. He's moved into third place. Ahead of Pennell and Besson. Still got Dinsdale-Young to catch. She's catching Hutton. This could be a great final 50 metres. So Hutton's pace has slowed. He could get caught here by 1, 2, potentially 3 or 4 swimmers. Great race between Pennell and Besant in 7 and 8. Could one of those take the win? They're all coming back. Derek Hutton being hunted down across the entire pool. Adam Harper, what a final 100 metres. That is brilliant from the Brighton swimmer. And he'll take the win. That is fantastic. Great racing, 5:12.09. Hutton settles for third in the end because Lucy Besson equally a great final 100 metres for her too. 5:14.27. That is what we like to see.
Penultimate heat 9, referee.
On to our penultimate heat, number 9 of our opening event. From lane 1, Grace Cordeau of GB Police, Beyond Best Behaviour. In 2, Roger Fairhurst of Teddington. In 3, teammate Simon Griffiths. In 4, Sarah Pritchard of Atlantis. In 5, Michelle Ware representing Woking. In 6, Guy Armstrong for Medway Maritime. In 7, Tom Allen, also of GB Police. And in 8, Hannah Angel representing Woking. So no one has decided to take this one on right now. 3 of the last 4 heats, we've had somebody go out and say, this one is mine. Doesn't always work, as we've just found out in heat number 8, but does provide great entertainment for us watching. halfway, a trio of leaders. Officially touching will be Hannah Angel, or Angel, 2:25.96. That's the fastest split we've seen so far to halfway. Closely followed by Guy Armstrong and Roger Fairhurst. And now Hannah in 8 does make her move. She's decided it's time to go towards 300 metres. 3 behind. Guy Armstrong. And then side by side, Fairhurst and Griffiths. 3:41 through 300 metres, so we're looking at, what's that, a 5:08-ish kind of finish time, maybe a little bit quicker. Maybe 5:05, let's see. And behind our trio fighting for second, third and fourth, inside the yellow lane ropes, you've got Sarah Pritchard and Michelle Ware. And with a bit of work to do, but again, all about personal times here as well. In Southern, Tom Allen, and in 1, Grace Cordeau. So let's just look at the clock here for Hannah Angel in 8. She's going to go very close to being our first sub-5 swimmer in our penultimate heat of event number 1. And she is going to do it, you know, by a couple of seconds as well. Great swim this is from Hannah Angel. She'll stop the clock at 4:57.54. A great final 100. 5:01s and 5:02s for Guy Armstrong and Simon Griffiths. Well, we're saving the best for last in the 400 freestyle. Michelle Ware, 5:09. Roger Fairhurst, 600ths back in 5th place. And Sarah Pritchard, Grace Cordeau and Tom Allen.
Here is heat number 10, final race of the 400 freestyle. Referee.
And this is our final heat of the 400 freestyle, 10 of 10. From lane number 1, Woking, Simon Scully. In 2, Barnet Copthorne's Mark Reynolds. In 3 for Basingstoke, Millie Emmons. In 4 for Crawley, Matthew Brecken. In 5 for Woking, Charlotte Farminer. In 6 for Poole, Liam Small. In 7 for Camden Swiss Cottage, Christopher Hopton. And in 8, Rushmore Royals, Stevie Butler. Leading down the middle in lane 4, Matthew Brecken, the home swimmer for Crawley. Well, our fastest split time so far is going to be broken because it was a 2:25 and Brecken's going to go closer to 2:15. 2:13.93, 4:58, fastest heat time thus far. We've just seen that by Hannah Angel. And talk about leading the field away. This is the biggest lead we've seen. Let's concentrate now behind him. He's in lane number 3, Millie Emmons. He's in a good little battle with Liam Small in 6. In lanes 1, 2 and 8, not a lot to separate Scully, Reynolds and Butler. In fact, just over 1 second to separate those three. And the lead for Matthew Brecken continues to grow. Oh, he's going to be well under 5 minutes, isn't he? Split time through 300, 3:25. This is looking like a 4:40. Behind. Great battle for second place in the heat. Liam Small and Millie Emmons. 7/100ths of a second separating them. Got to keep their eye on Mark Reynolds and Simon Scully, though, in lanes 2 and 1. Now help them push or pull them along. Now let's just concentrate on the clock here for Matt Brecken. Just continue to grow his lead throughout the entire heat. And really in a different class, the Crawley swimmer in this one, got to be said. I think I said 4:40. I'm going to be nowhere near, because it's a 4:35.36 for Matt Brecken. That is incredibly fast, and rightly so. A round of applause there. The battle for second place, let's concentrate there. Liam Small will take it over Matt Reynolds. No time showing up for Millie Emmons. She was right up there too. 4:56, there we go.
Event number 2 is the men's open 100 meters breaststroke. There are 6 heats in this event. Here's heat 1. Referee.
And in lane number 4, that was Paul Bruce there, just making it in time to the starting block. Nearly went without him. So 5 swimmers in heat 1 from Salisbury. Chris Jessup in 2. Peter Braz, William Roberts in 3. The late arriving Paul Bruce for Chichester in 4. Russell Simpson, Hemel Hempstead in 5. And in 6, Barnett Copthorns, Keith Parkin. And these next 6 heats are going to feel like sprints compared to our 10 400 metres that we've seen already this morning. And it will be followed by the female 100-meter breaststroke. So 11 heats back-to-back of 100 breast. 6 for the boys, 5 for the girls. And Paul Bruce hasn't really let that late start affect his racing, chasing Russell Simpson. But Simpson, that is a lovely swimming cap for Russell Simpson, must say. I like that. And he'll take the win, 1:43.14. Just a couple of seconds clear of Bruce, then Keith Parkin in 6:1:46. Roberts in 4th place, and Chris Jessup will close heat number 1.
Heat 2 should have 8 swimmers. Referee.
Heat number 2 have a full pool, and it consists of, from lane 1, William Reed for Teddington, David Norwood, Medway Maritime, Darren Milne for Mid Sussex, Malcolm Rayner for Hearts, Chris Keithner representing Hackney, Philip Collins out to swim, John Turner for Hythe, and Alan Parkins representing Crawley. So about 1:45s, and this time we move away from the centre now that we do have outside lanes, and it's John Turner that's going the quickest, representing Hythe, 50 this year. How quick can he go? Going to be around about 1:28. What does he stop the clock at? 1:27.83. Just outside 1:30, Philip Collins and Alan Parkins, Chris Keithner. Yeah, your top 4. And the second 4 finished together too.
Heat number 3, 8 swimmers. Referee.
Heat number 3, 2 out to swim swimmers in our opening lanes. Michael Litke and Matthew Walcher. And Royal Tunbridge Wells, Mike Prime in 3. Hillingdon's Phil Southworth. Royal Tunbridge Wells again with Daniel Codman. David Pirrie, Hemel Hempstead in 6. Jonathan Refson, Potters Bar in Southern. And in 8, Camden Swiss Cottage, Chris Hopton. And now this is going to be a close finish. I'm looking at Michael Litke in 1, in 4 Phil Southworth, and in 7 Jonathan Refson. Not quite a blanket finish, because in the last few metres Refson will come forwards. The Potters Bar swimmer, 126.64. 127 for Southworth, 128 Litke.
Heat number 4 coming up. Referee.
So 7 swimmers in heat number 4. They are missing lane number 6. But we do have Mark Wortham and Nigel McDonald representing Crawley, Ian Pilcher for Leatherhead, Neil Mitchell for Basingstoke, Louis Martin for Dover Lifeguards, then Keith Goggin for Wickham District, and Sean O'Brien representing Basingstoke. Once again, a close finish, and this time it's going to be between 6 of them. Wow. Green cap in lane 7 belongs to Keith Goggin. Can he hold on, or will Mitchell or Martin come through in the last couple of metres? He will, 124.79. My goodness, look at those times. Goggin, Martin and Mitchell. Less than 1 second to separate your top 3.
Heat number 5 coming up. Penultimate race to the 100 breaststroke. Referee.
And already on heat number 5 of 6, from lane 1, out to swims Daniel Yuslinde, Royal Tunbridge Wells, Ryan Rabi, City of Oxford's Morgan Smith. In 4, Medway Maritime's Marius Barchowski. In 5, Otters Joshua Patel. In 6, Borough of Newham's Giuliano Chiavardi. In 7, out to swim Augustus Visi. And in 8, Crawley's Martinus Marks. And it is lane 7, Augustus Visi. I tell you what, there's been quite a few representatives from out to swim. Clearly you've got a very good 1.5 seconds back, equally fantastic time. And in 3rd place, Mariusz Barszczykowski for Medway Maritime.
Heat 6, the final heat of the men's open 100 breaststroke. Referee.
Final heat. Will it be the fastest heat? Very likely. Peter Williams for Kidlington. Matthew Schoen for Borough of Newham. Henry Goodlad for Woking. Portsmouth Northsea teammates in 4 and 5, Neil Redman and Chris Jones. Croydon Amphibians, Will Bowler in 6. In Southern Dover Lifeguards Club, Rob Messenger. And in 8 Wickham Districts, Gregory de Tertra. Henry Goodlad representing Woking, 27-year-old in lane number 3, looking strong. Closest challenger in 5, Chris Jones, one of our Portsmouth North Sea swimmers. Not going to catch him though, 107.16. 3 men go sub 110. Chris Jones and Neil Redman join Goodlad in that club. Matthew Sean just outside.
Coming up for event number 3, it's the women's 100 metres breaststroke. We've got 5 heats. Heat 1. Okay, guys, as you clear the water, rescue drowning kit. Ready for heat 1, referee.
And we will witness 5 heats in the female 100 breaststroke. Up first from lane 2, Susan Dewar, Hampton Waterloo Vale. Holly Bocking for Colchester. Jemima Rudd-Jones, Royal Tunbridge Wells. Sally Lillian for Dis Otters. Diana Grote for Aylesbury. Denise Humphreys for Godalming in Southern. And in 8, Diane Ford, the Rushmore Royal. Now, Diane Ford in lane 8. She is a world record holder in the 80 to 84 age group, 143.9. So, we could potentially, if she can go quicker than 143.9, have our first and maybe our only world record this weekend. She leads the way. Let's concentrate on this. Diane Ford, lane number 8, 143.9, her own world record. It's looking like a big ask right now into the final 10 meters. You can't get a world record every time, you know. And she will be outside, but always great to have a world record holder in the field. And she'll take the win in the heat by a distance, 150.9 for the 85 to 89 category swimmer. quite remarkable. And the best of the rest, Denise Humphreys, 2:03.04, closely followed by Diana Grote and Sally Lellian. Then comes Holly Bocky, Jemima Jones, and Suzanne Dewar for Havant and Waterlooville. She will close out our first of 5 heats in a time of 2:36.06.
Heat number 2 should have 8 swimmers. Referee.
In Heat 2, from Lane 1, you're watching Dover Lifeguards, Carolyn Ellis, Redhill and Reigate, Claudine Day, South Bedfordshire, Christine Ayers, Mid-Sussex Marlins, Lisa Mills, Dover Lifeguard again, this time with Eleanor Matthews in 5, Lewis, Jennifer Johnston in 6, Aylesbury's Darren Creasy in 7, and Gloucester's Sandra Jane Jones is in lane number 8. Ellis, and rounding things out will be Claudine Day. This is heat number 3. Taking part in this heat, Rachel Sully for Medway Maritime in 1, Caris Clark for Hillingdon, Carolyn Griffin for Potters Bar. Inside the yellow lane ropes, Kim Tarrant for City of Southampton, and Fiona Wiggins for Spencer. Jill Gear is representing Sevenoaks, Rebecca Pritchard, another Spencer athlete, and in lane number 8, Samantha Usher for Wickham District. And barely any advantage through 50 metres. Pritchard and Usher about a third of a body length clear. In lane number 2, Caris Clark just breaking away from Sully and Griffin. But it will be down to our 2 swimmers on this near side. Who will it be, Pritchard or Usher? It is Samantha Usher for Wickham District, 1:34.64. Just shy of half a second over Pritchard, then Gear.
Heat number 4, penultimate race of this event. Referee.
In heat 4, you're watching as they turn Katrina Farrell, Sarah Nisbet, Esther Isepi, Claire Tagg, Karen Jendin, Amanda Heath, Alice Dinsdale-Young and Elaine Sang. Now Esther Isepi in lane 3, European record holder, 1:29.9. And in lane 6, Amanda Heath, British record holder, 1:30.05. But it's lane 7 that leads, alongside Karen Jendin. It is Dinsdale-Young. And this will be close, you know, on those record times. Just going to be outside, I think, but we'll confirm that for you. It is in Southern. Alice Dinsdale-Young representing Otters. And Amanda Heath, 1:31.13, just of a second outside of her British record.
Heat 5, final race of the women's 100 breaststroke. Referee.
Final heat then. Lucy Besant for Dover Lifeguards, Kitty Craig for Headley, Vicky Payne representing Gloucester, Erin Robertson for Basingstoke, Louise Fidders Medway Maritime, Rhiannon Elston representing Portsmouth North Sea, and Woking teammates in 7 and 8, Jenny Clark and Linda Coggins. I tell you what, it's a bit of a trek from Gloucester. And look at this down the middle. Basingstoke's Erin Robertson absolutely flying.
Thanks everyone. A little bit of backstroke coming up in the form of event 4. The mixed 200 metres backstroke. Looks like we've got 8 heats. Backstroke ledges are coming out. Be prepared. Not compulsory by any means. Been swimming with them, well, without them for goodness knows how many years. Good test for the timekeepers. So in heat number 1, we should have 3 swimmers, lanes 3, 4 and 5. Referee.
Take your marks.
Right, away we go. As we already heard, there are going to be 8 heats in this event. And it will be followed by the 50-metre butterflies for the male and the female to close the session. First up though, heat number 1, Sally Lillian for Dis Otters, Rose Dudeny for Mid Sussex Marlins, and Shelley Robinson representing Southern Oaks. And combined, they are in the 70 and overs categories. 2 age groups split them. And no entry times to go on. So we'll make a calculation after the first split and have a guess. Now, if we are running to schedule, the warm-up is due to take place at 1 p.m. for our second session of the day. And we go racing just after 2 o'clock. You get, as ever, 4 by 15-minute warm-ups for our 4 groupings of competitors, male and female, under and over 50. You know the routine. So, split it halfway, pretty much bang on 2 minutes. So, Rose Dudeny leading the way. So this will be, very likely, I'm going to make a guess here, but the first big event for all of our swimmers this year. But they do come thick and fast. Obviously, a lot of swimmers competing at every single opportunity. So, Dudeny, a 3:01. So can she come back in a similar split and go maybe a 4:02, 4:03? Looking back. On Shelley Robinson, and just a couple more back to Sally Lillian. Oh, she's going to go close to 4 minutes here. Is this going to be a negative split? Oh, 400ths of a second outside 4 minutes. That's as impressive as it is equally painful. Ever so close for Rose Dudeny. 4:11.91 Shelley Robinson. And just a few seconds back, Sally Lillian.
Heat number 2 should have 6 swimmers in lanes 2 to 7. Referee.
Take your marks.
Heat number 2, and there are 6 competitors this time round. We have, from lane 2 onwards, Tonbridge's Sam Petter, Hadley's Stuart McLennan, Farnham's Judith Wiles, Peterborough's William Roberts, Aylesbury's Kate Nightingale, and from Lewis, David Sheed. And we're already starting to see names crop up regularly for the second time already this morning. You will get competitors taking part in 4, 5, 6 events across the weekend quite easily. And you'll get those that will specialise in 1 or 2 and take it a little bit easier. So remarkably, I mean impressively, doesn't he, a negative split in heat number 1 for a 4 minutes and 400ths of a second. And our leader in heat number 2 at halfway is going to be Kate Nightingale for Aylesbury, a 1:40. So we're going to take massive chunks off the heat time of heat 1. Every single swimmer well under 2 minutes to halfway. And it's been a really good turn by William Roberts in 5. Of course, through 25 metres. Not quite going to get there. Nightingale holding on. And as she comes home, 2:33. She's 1.2 seconds clear of Roberts. The rest of the field, 6 seconds back and more. And once again, in the early stages of the length, Roberts comes back. Just to push you along, or pull you along, whichever position you find yourself in. But Nightingale here is David Sheed, 3:32.
Thank you, swimmers.
Judith Wiles and Stuart McLennan in 4 and 5. And bringing things home will be Sam Petter. And a 3:49.
Take your marks.
Heat number 3. You are watching Bexley's Julian Meldrum, Dover Lifeguards Tracy Martin, Hackney's James Richins, Hillingdon's Caris Clark, Disotter's Adam Lellian, Wantage's Lindsay Kelly-One, Mid-Sussex Sarah Davison, and Royal Tunbridge Wells Brian Hunt. Well, a slightly different race to the scene so far, with a standout leader who is Caris Clark, 24-year-old representing Hillingdon. Of the rest, Lindsay Kelly-One, Sarah Davidson and Brian Hunt, all happening in lanes 6, 7 and 8. Adam Lellian was in 5th on the timing board, but had a great turn to move straight into 4th, hunting down 3rd place as well. On the far side of the pool, as we look at things, bit of work to do for Meldrum, Martin and Richins, but nobody is going to catch Caris Clark here. 3:40 the quickest time from Heat 2. And she is going to be a lot closer to 3:30 than 3:40. Be a massive chunk taken off the fastest time now. All about the clock on this one. Caris Clark is going to win this by 10 metres. Or maybe that's generous. What's the time? Very close to 3 minutes. 3:03.29. That is super quick. And more like what we were anticipating. Lindsay Kelly-One, 3:14. Adam Lellian, 3:16. Anybody else sub 3:20? Just outside Davidson and Hunt. But that is a spanner in the works. A 3:03 from Caris Clark. James Richins will finish 3:24. And Julian Meldrum, final swimmer home, 3:39.
Thank you, swimmers. Out the sides, please. Thank you.
This should be heat number 4. We should have 8 swimmers. Referee.
Take your marks.
This heat will take us to halfway in the event. You are watching Wickham District's Rachel Culver. Plenty of support for Rachel Culver, blimey. Spencer's Chris Dunn in lane 2. Southdown Trojans Anthony Corbin in 3. I like these cheers, guys. Medway Maritime Guy Armstrong in 4. Team Luton in 5 and 6. Karen McKenzie and Sam Bradley. In 7, Devonport, Helen Kula-Przwanski, and Southdown Trojans again in 8, Mark Franklin. And it is the Trojan that leads. Mark Franklin, 1:20 to the halfway mark. Massive times being taken off our quickest swims. Like huge. Elsewhere in the middle, in lane number 4, Guy Armstrong for Medway Maritime. And back comes your leader. Going to take another 10 seconds off our quickest time so far in the event. He will be followed home by Guy Armstrong, not going anywhere, but these two way ahead of the rest of the field. Karen McKenzie leads the rest of the field in 5. We'll bring her home in a second. Let's look at the time though. Mark Franklin, it's going to be a 2:46.76. Just about 3 seconds clear in the end of Guy Armstrong. To the field, led in by Karen McKenzie, one of our 2 Luton swimmers. 3 minutes and 81 hundredths. Teammate Sam Bradley in 4th place.
Thank you, swimmers. Out at the sides, please.
Heat number 5 should have another 8 swimmers. Referee.
Take your marks.
You are watching from lane 1. Woking's Hannah Angel. In 2, Royal Tunbridge Wells, Simon Haller. In 3, Dover Lifeguard Club, Louis Martin. In 4, Epsom District's Neil Morgan. In 5, Deborah Startin's Dover Lifeguard Club. Farnham teammates in 6 and 7, Amy McLucas and Andrea Coombs. And in 8, representing Woking, Linda Coggins. So we had a 1:20 split time, which did seem out of the ordinary in heat number 4, with a 2:51 finish time. No surprise not to see that matched, but a 1:26 for Andrea Coombs and Simon Haller. And this is not due to a one swimmer well out in front, but a fairly spread pool we've got in heat 5. And it's lane number 1, Hannah Angel, who is going to, on the turn, lead. I say lead, it's by half a second over Simon Haller into the final 50. Then Andrea Coombs and Deborah started. So we'll have to keep our eyes on the entire width of the pool here to navigate them home. But it's looking better and better for Angel in 1. And it will be her heat in a time of around about 2:53. It is a 2:53.8 for the win, then Simon Haller. And then we jump across the pool to lane number 7. 3:01 for Andrea Coombs. And just one more second back to Deborah starting. We are 5 down and we are 3 to go in the backstroke.
This will be heat number 6. Looks like we've only got 7 swimmers. Referee. While we're waiting here, just to remind swimmers and competitors, the Swim Path Swim Shop is available downstairs on the ground floor lobby, bottom of the staircase. Any training equipment or anything else, go see those guys there during the break. or indeed when you're between swims. Swim path, swim shop is
part in heat number 6 from lane number 1, Havington Waterlooville's Paul Doherty, South Downs Trojan Thomas Parry, Reading's Sarah Fitzgerald-Smith, Spencer's Helen Cumber, Borough of Newham's Katie Wright, City of Southampton's James McTavish, Woking's Gemma Spencer. In fact, she was missing the earlier event as well, and Teddington's Roger Fairhurst. And already time 2:43.69. Outside lane next, Roger Fairhurst 2. And Fitzgerald-Smith. That is 6 down, 2 to go in the 200 back.
unfortunately.
Thank you, swimmers. Out at the sides, please.
Unfortunately, from heat number 3 of this event, lane 3 was disqualified for a technical infraction. That's heat 3, lane 3 disqualified. Heat number 7 should have 8 swimmers. Referee.
One, Basingstoke's Nicola Charlesworth in 2, South Downs Trojan Ellen Jewell in 3, South Bedfordshire Emma Joyce in 4, Otters Megan McDonough in 5, Hillingdon's Laura Hibbard in 6, South Downs Trojan Joe Corbin in 7, and in lane number 8 representing Woking, Charlotte Farminer.
Test start, take your marks.
Here is the final heat of the mixed 200 metres backstroke. 8 swimmers, referee.
Take your marks.
And finally, in heat number 8, I'm going to call it our penultimate event because it's both the open male and the female 50 butterfly coming up shortly. We'll sprint through those. For the time being, Trafford Metro's Christopher Malpass in 1. In 2, Medway Maritime's Hope Pace. Bracknell's Hugh Jones. Out to swim, Augustus Vesey. He had a great swim earlier on today, Augustus Vesey. Portsmouth North Sea, Dan Wass. Spencer's Dan Cotton. Arizona Masters, Patrick Brundage. And Crawley's Martin Schofield. I'm going to bet that Patrick Brundage is the only Arizona Master here today. I might be proven wrong. So how quick can we go in our last heat of the 200 back? Looking at things, well, we've had a couple of 240s, haven't we? And this is going to be much quicker because in 4, that's Augustus Vesey, and in 6, Dan Cotton. They're going to battle it out through the last 25 metres. And it's going to be Vesey with the slender advantage going into the wall. Behind them in 3, that's Hugh Jones in the white cap. But in front, second win of the day, and another great time, 2:18.38 Augustus Vesey. Dan Cotton, 2:19.47. And it was 7 seconds back to third place, Hugh Jones. And then Dan Wass. The rest of the field, we will wait for them. Before we move on to those 50-metre butterflies, it's going to be open male first, followed by the females. So we're going to be starting from the opposite end, of course. And bringing things home, Hope Pace, a 2:53.62.
Thank you, gentlemen. Clear the pool out by the sides, please.
Test start. Take your marks.
So we're nearly ready for event number 5. It's the men's open 50 meters butterfly. We've got 9 heats. Swimmers are there. Timing system has been tested. Open male 50 meters butterfly, heat 1, swimmers in lanes 1 to 7. Referee.
Take your marks. Stand down, swimmers. Stand down, swimmers, please. Test start. Take your marks. Take your marks.
Right then, we have got in total 16 back-to-back 50-meter flies between the open male and the female. Kicking off from lane number 1, Jessup, Vida, Bruce, Daly, Dunn, Reed and Holstein. And you're going to see plenty of blanket finishes here. I'm not going to do many calling of winners prior to them touching the wall. Maybe other than this one, although this will be close too. 6 and 3, William Reed and Paul Bruce. It's that 0.3 of a second between our top 2 and Daniel Daly, 39.91. So yeah, get used to this. You know how it works. Just wait for Chris Jessup to come home in lane number 1. I'm going to just miss out on the minute mark, 1:02.19.
Here's heat number 2, 8 swimmers, referee.
Take your marks.
In heat number 2, from lane 1, Keith Parkin, David Pirrie, Derek Parr, Lyndon Williams, Brian Hunt, Jonathan Refson, Bryn Walters and Philip Disley. 4 men out in front. Outside lane here in A number 8, Philip Disley will go up against Lyndon Williams for the heat win. And it will be a 34.65 for the man, the South Downs Trojan. Lyndon Williams, Bexley Masters in second. And Bryn Walters confirmed third.
Heat number 3, another 8 swimmers. Referee.
Take your marks.
Heat number 3, Smoothie, Cargill, Harper, Arnold, Prime, Lushlinda and Litke. And once again, we look towards the outside lane in 8. Michael Litke, one of our 2 out to swim swimmers, 31.29, new fastest time through 3 heats. He was ahead of Lushlinda and Azam Harper in lane 3.
This will be heat number 4. We should have 8 swimmers. Referee.
Take your marks.
Heat number 4, and we are going to start rattling through these heats now. Simpson, Palmer, Martin, Walcher, McDonald, Haller, Clark and Hutton. And this time it is lane number 1, Carl Simpson, and in 6, Simon Haller. Haller takes it at 31.81. Carl Simpson ahead of Anthony Clark. Those times confirmed. Four down, 5 to go in the open male.
This will be heat number 5. 8 swimmers. Referee.
Take your marks.
Heat 5 from lane 1, McTavish, Goggin, Griffiths, Barczykowski, Hanlon, O'Brien, Wilson and Scott.
Take your marks.
You are watching Parkins, Smirkis, French, Benson, Roosh, Squires, Brundage and Patel. And this one going to be a lot closer than Heat 5. I'm not going to call this one looking good. Heat 7, barely time to say the names now. Kirkpatrick, Nash, Simmons, Smith, Bowler, Malpass, Ryback and Weller. And once again, lane 3 this time, Craig Simons on the touch, 28.83. First man to go sub 30 seconds, and a flurry of them do it. Tied second for Bowler and Malpass, 29.01, and a 29.18 for Kirkpatrick. 0.4 of a second separating the top 4.
This will be heat number 8. Final race, referee.
Take your marks.
Heat number 8, North, Schofield, Marks, Jessup, Duke, Williams, Kivardi and Small. Outside lane in 1, Sean North, Guildford City. It's going to get stolen away. It does on this side. Liam Small, 27.88. Peter Williams gets home first prior to Sean North too. 7 of the 8 under 30 seconds. 5 of them under 29.
Sorry, this is the final race of the men's 50 fly. Referee.
Take your marks.
Finally, for the open mail, Piers, Pay, Messenger, Price, Boskert, Espinazi, Cunningham and Gilfrin. And this time, in the final heat for the open mail, we do have a clear leader, Bradley Price, for GB Police, 25.68. And the fastest time of all 9 heats. Next up, it's the female side of the competition.
So event number 6 is the women's 50 metres butterfly. Heat 1, swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5. Referee.
Take your marks.
Right, final 7 heats of this session. In heat 1 of the female 50 fly, Diana Grote in 2, Polly Bocking in 4, and Amanda Doyle is in 5. And it will be the latter, Doyle, the King's Cormorant swimmer, 49.2. Holly Bocking, just 23 years of age for Colchester, 55.3. And Diana Grote, representing Aylesbury, 102.24.
Heat number 2, swimmers in lanes 1 to 7. Referee.
Heat number 2. Fiona, Rudd-Jones, Humphreys, Culver, Fowler, Gear and Mills. And lane 4, Rachel Culver for Wickham District, 40.01. She'll be happy with the win. She'll be gutted she wasn't 0.02 of a second quicker. Jill Gear and Heather Fowler, second and third in our heats. And listen up shortly at the end of heat 7. Ian will bring you up to speed on the warm-up times, the anticipated start times. I think we're running pretty much to schedule at the moment. It's going very, very nicely indeed. Well done to everyone involved.
Heat number 3, we should have 8 swimmers down there. Referee.
From lane number 1, you got Tracy Martin, Jenny Clark, Sam Usher, Hajnalka Rosha Rash, Jenny Vick, Becky Godfrey, Valerie Melville, and Janine Brooks. So we'll nibble away at the fastest times. Jenny Clark looking like the most likely to do so in heat number 3. Representative for Woking, 35.66. We take a massive amount of time off it.
Heat number 4 coming up. 8 swimmers. Referee.
Ryan Trotman, Gadorenko, Wickens, Laverick, Young, Harrison and Jones. And this is a blanket finish. Who gets the touch? It was Harrison, 37.13, 1/100th of a second quicker than Sandra Jane Jones. Wait for these to be reorganised. There we go. 37.13 versus 37.14.
Heat number 5. 8 more swimmers. Referee.
Heat 5, Philippa Williams, Katrina Farrell, Alice Houghton-Rose, Jessica Purcell, Emily Quick, Kyra Redmond, Laura Cook and Kira Neal. All happening down the middle here. Purcell and Quick for Potter's Bar and the South Downs Trojan. Or in 8, coming through nicely. Kira Neal, hang on a second, takes it 34-48. What a finish from Kira Neal. Joined under 35 seconds by Jessica Purcell. Laura Cook, 1400s outside.
Penultimate race of the session. Looks like we've got 7 swimmers. Referee.
You're watching Sorrel Kenny, Dawn Palmer, Helen Cumber, April Richards, Charlotte Farminer, Sarah Pritchard, and then we jump to 8, Fionn Thomas. And a pair of them going for it. Farminer and Pritchard in 8 again, Fionn Thomas. 2 in a row from 8. No, but close. 100ths of a second again between our winner and second place. Charlotte Farminer, 32.01. Fionn Thomas, 32.02. 800ths back to Pritchard.
Final race of the morning. Referee.
This is it then. Last race of the session. McDonough, Joyce, Pace, Ram, Fiddes, Charlesworth, Sadler and Collins. Once again, we go down the middle. 4, 5 and 6, Ram, Fiddes, Charlesworth. The former's going to take it. Amy Ram, 30.12, saving the best for last. And that does conclude swimming for our session. A massive thank you to our officials at poolside. A big well done to all of our competitors, those in the pool right now and having a rest in the stands as well. I'm going to hand over to Ian for one final time, just to bring us up to date with the schedule, the warm-up and the start time, please, Ian.
Well, it looks like we finished at around 12:30, so you've got half an hour to rest and recuperate and, of course, refuel. We'll be starting our warm-up again at 1 o'clock, and as this morning, it'll be the men's 50 years and over at 1 till 1:15, women's 50 plus to 1:15 to 1:30, then the young chaps under 50